Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Today's training is on how to 10x your messenger conversations and close more sales without any cold outreach. Now, if you are a coach or a consultant or even any sort of service provider and you want to have more impact, then this training is going to be super helpful for you, because today I'll be sharing how to 10x your messenger conversations and close more sales. So doesn't everybody want that? Tell me, is that what you want? If you'd like any guidance, any further support on this, because what I'm going to be talking about are suggestions, tips and strategies, but if you need any further support to actually implement what I'm talking about, then reach out, drop a hashtag support below or send us a private message and we'd be happy to have a conversation and see if we can help you further. So before I get into the details of this training, let me just quickly introduce myself to those of you who may be new to my world. My name is Enrol. I'm a business mentor and a mindset coach, and I help my clients who are coaches, consultants and course creators to package and position their value into a high ticket offer, right? And I also help them with the strategies and the systems to keep business super simple, so you can essentially reach that multiple six-figure income working in less than 4 hours a day, right? So today I am going to be talking about and sharing some tips and suggestions on how to 10x your messenger conversations without cold outreach, right? Because I don't personally have an issue with cold outreach, but I don't do cold outreach, and I know a lot of people don't enjoy cold outreach. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on today. And the result of these incredible messenger conversations is that you will be in a position to actually enroll more clients and close more sales. So there are two distinctly different types of messenger conversations that you can make, right? You can make sales from. They're known as warm and cold, right? Messenger conversations. I'm sure you've heard that before. And truly, honestly, there's nothing wrong with cold outreach, right? But it is a lot harder to do. Some people don't like how it makes them feel, because sometimes you might send out a cold message and it might not be as well received, and so and we all fear judgment and we fear rejection and we don't like how that makes us feel, and so obviously cold messaging is not for all of us. Cold messaging, I'm just going to touch on it super quickly, that's not what this training is about, is a really well-known strategy that works, right? And it works really well for many businesses, but it's not my preferred way of doing business. I don't judge anyone who chooses to do cold messaging, and I'm always super polite to absolutely anyone who sends me a cold message, because I know that they're just doing their job, right? Often they're appointment setters just doing the job, or in some cases it's the business owner themselves. And at the end of the day, if you really want to help clients, you'll do whatever it takes. And so somewhere deep inside of me, even though I choose not to do this myself, I have a lot of admiration and respect for people who are willing to do cold messaging, right? Because it's not easy. It is not easy at all. And it's a little bit, I find it a little bit disappointing that people are so judgmental about it on social media, and you hear people going on about it, and I just kind of think, come on, give these people a break. They are trying to run a business in the best way that they know how, and I admire that. So that's just a little bit about me. So I prefer warm messaging. So what this means is that people are expecting a message from me, right? And people are open to receiving that message from me, even if I am sending it out to them. And in some cases, people are actually messaging me because of the way I've set things up, and I'll be talking about that more in this training. So who here, I would love to know, who here connects with their audience via Messenger? And are you mainly doing it warm or cold messaging? Let me know. let me know in the comments. I would love to know, because if you are doing cold messaging, you know, like I said, I admire you. I really have a lot of respect for you, because I know it's not easy. There are many different ways, right? I start up warm conversations. And so grab a pen and paper, because I'm going to be sharing 10 different ways to increase your messenger conversations, and they will always all be kind of warm. Cold in a non-sleazy way, just to build relationships. Absolutely, and that's the thing, right? Cold can 100% be done in a non-sleazy way. Way back, and this might be why I have a little secret kind of soft spot for people who are doing cold messaging, is way back when I very first started my business. I think I got about the first 500 people into this Facebook group. This Facebook group grew to 4,000, and then I reduced it to about 1,200, and now it's growing again, right? So when I first started, probably first sort of 400 or so people, I invited them into this group by sending them cold messages, but it was a really polite, well-written message, and it was well received, and people who I never offended anyone with it. People who chose to join did, and those who chose not to didn't, and you know, I never had any backlash from it. And so that's that. All right, so hopefully you have pen and paper handy, because I'm going to be sharing all the details, and this is exactly what I do. This is exactly what I teach. Guys, I don't hold back in these trainings, right? Because I want this to be incredibly valuable for you, but what you've got to understand is the support I provide my clients is just the next level, right? The training is the same, the information is the same. The support that I provide my clients is actually looking at their messenger conversations, looking at how they can tweak and improve their messaging, and how they can convert at a higher rate, and how they can increase their open rates. And they're all additional different strategies that I won't necessarily cover in this particular training. But if you have questions, drop them in the comments, and that's a little bit of a clue. Anything you ask me, I will answer, right? Within reason, and not because I want to hold back, but if it's really hard to explain, then obviously I'll just do my best, right? Okay, number one, the first and most effective way I get people warmed up for a messenger conversation is through my Facebook group questions. In the questions, I don't know if you remember, some of you may not have answered them when you joined the group, right? The third question that I ask when people join this group is, I ask for permission to actually send a message. I say, I specialize in helping coaches and consultants to create and sell high ticket offers, and words to that effect. I can't even remember the exact wording, right? You know, it's kind of obviously really well written, so like people kind of go, ooh, I want that. And I say, would you like me to reach out to explain how? And I would honestly say 1 in 3, if not 4 people will answer yes to that question. So that immediately gives us an open door to reach out and say, hey, we saw you said yes, and we start a conversation from that. So tell me, do you have this kind of a question in your questions when people join your Facebook group? Do you have that kind of a setup? If you don't, I highly recommend it, right? I highly recommend it, because it works really, really well. If you have any questions about anything that I'm sharing, please drop them in the comment. Only warm and only after they ask for something. Essentially, 100% of everything that I'm going to be talking about in this training is exactly that. But this question when people join my Facebook group is a really, really effective question, and that is one of the ways. So we probably get, I don't know, 2 to 3 people a day saying yes to that question, right? Because, you know, this group is kind of gradually growing. I'm not necessarily kind of trying to grow it by thousands and thousands. So there are 3 questions that you can ask people as they join your Facebook group. One of the 3 questions that I ask is, can I message you? But how I've worded it is I specialize in it's something like I specialize in helping my clients to create and sell high ticket offers. So they just need 2 sales to reach multiple 6 figures in income, which is the truth, right? And that's my kind of high level message. And so I say, would you like us to reach out to discuss how? And at least 1 in 3, sometimes 4 people will say yes. And that's about 2 to 3 conversations, 3 probably conversations for us daily that we get through just through those questions. The second way, number 2, the second way is a direct call to action post, right? So a direct call to action post is not wishy-washy and vague. It's really to the point, and it's kind of like very directly saying, I want to help you, send me a DM or comment below. Yeah. So you will have seen this, right? I do this all the time. Not all the time. Maybe I do it every 2 to 3 weeks, maybe once a month, that kind of thing. You don't want to overdo this particular one because people will just scroll past it and not even notice it after a while if you're kind of doing it too much. So I might put a post out that says, I want to help 3 women to reach 30K by the 31st of December. Who wants it? And people might comment below and say, yes, 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 yes. So I respond and say, awesome, check your messages, and we will continue the conversation in there. Or in many cases, that post results in people coming straight into Messenger. Yeah, I mean, we can offer 15-minute chats, right? If we want to lead them to a sale. At the moment, I'm very much talking about how to lead people into Messenger to start conversations, right? And even though they're inbound and whatever, we want to kind of do it in a really lovely serving kind of way, right? So that we're not pushy. This is how I choose to do business, right? I lead with generosity, and so I have a really lovely conversation, and if I really feel that it's a good fit, then I might invite them into a conversation, right? A proper Zoom or something, and yes, it might be a 15-minute conversation. This second option that I was talking about, or the second suggestion that I had, is where you're sharing a post and sort of saying, I want to help you to achieve this result by this particular time. Yeah, something really tangible and specific, right? And it doesn't have to be money related. It can apply to absolutely any niche. Yeah, but the more tangible and the more specific it is, the better. The more likely people are to say yes to it, if that's what they want. And then that leads to lots of Messenger conversations, right? And like I was saying, I do this at least once a month, but not much more frequently than that, right? Because if you overdo that particular post, it kind of gets ignored a lot as well. And you need to be bringing in and building your audience and bringing in new people in order for that to continue to be effective as well. And do you currently share really direct call to action posts? Last week, I did a direct call to action post, which was a bit more of a longer post, but it was super direct, right? And I led with, did you know that I offer a ROI guarantee? Now that's a really good scroll stopping first line, right? And then I shared a little bit more about what I do, and I had a very direct call to action. You know, if you want this, if you want to work with me, reach out. And so far I've closed one 12-month client, $18,000. One conversation in Messenger. I've had many conversations in Messenger, but that particular client was just one conversation in Messenger. So it can happen pretty fast. Things can happen really, really fast. So let me know if you're doing these sort of more direct call to action posts, right? Where you're very specifically talking about your offer and about exactly how you can help someone to get a particular result, and asking people to say yes and then getting them into Messenger conversations. Number 3, indirect call to action posts. So this is a post where you offer your audience something you think they may want. For example, and some of you may be quite familiar with this, I've created a free training on how to 10x your messenger conversations and close more sales. Who wants it? Not exact words that I use, but you get the point, right? A lot of you saw that, and that, the yeses, has obviously resulted in some of you coming to this training, but also gives me permission to kind of make sure you get the training. If you didn't get the training, that you get the replay, and to kind of just sort of have a conversation and say, hey, did it all make sense? Are you already having messenger conversations? Do you need support with messenger conversations? And you can go from there. So today's training, just from creating the event, I got 10 people saying yes. I created a post on my personal profile. I got 31 people saying yes. I created a post in here. Actually, it wasn't even a post in here. It was on the bottom of the event training. We did an @everyone to make sure everyone saw it. And we got like another 14 people asking for the replay. And so far, we've got about 55 people who have expressed interest in this training, right? Obviously, not everyone could be here because I've got kind of a very global audience, and this time might not suit everyone, but it got interest, right? And it allowed us to kind of send out messages this morning. So I say us because Jacelyn helps me, and to send out messages to sort of say, hey, Anne's going live this morning, and then after the training, Jacelyn will likely reach out and say, did you get to catch the training? Would you like me to send out the replay? And all the people who ask for the replay, Jacelyn will send out the replay, right? And that kind of opens up the opportunity for us to have a conversation. We're not going to push anything, right? We're not going to kind of go, oh, you said yes to the training, let's get on a sales call. That's not how we roll. But it has given us an opportunity to have lots and lots of messenger conversations. And this is the thing, right? We have tried and tested and tweaked and improved our messaging and our open rates and our response rates, and it's just getting better and better and better and better, right? Okay. When you ask a really open question, like, people won't respond. It's just all too much. Like, let me know if you have any questions is kind of leaving it really open. Let me know what you found most valuable it's just too big. It's too open, right? So what I tend to do, or what Jacelyn and I tend to do, is we really narrow it down and we ask a question that has a super simple answer. So depending on what your training or your lead magnet is about, then you link it back to that and ask a really simple, easy question, right? And that helps to open up the conversation. Does that help? We're the same. If we ask, let me know if you have any, if we say something like, let me know if you found this useful, let me know what you found valuable, tell me about your takeaways, do you have any questions? We hear crickets. We get nothing from that. We're impact-driven entrepreneurs, right? We want to help. We don't want to just put out information and it just fall on deaf ears and people, Sadly, the reality is people don't do a whole lot with free information, right? It goes in one ear and goes out the other. I don't know. It's really sad, which is why I feel so strongly about, high ticket, because when people invest, they totally show up for their investment, right? Another tip is to ask a this or that question. Guys, I'm giving away my inside secrets, right? This or that. So a this or that question, bringing it back to this particular training, messenger conversations, is, if you go back and you check all my messages, you'll start seeing all of this showing up for you, right? You'll know exactly how I'm doing business. So a this or that question relating back to this particular training would be, are you already having messenger conversations, or would you like to start? Are you doing cold outreach, or would you like to shift warm, or something like that, right? I've got to think about this, but that's essentially it, right? It's a this or that. super easy for people to answer. Super easy. And then that leads the conversation further forward. You know, we'll never get 100%, right? That's the reality. We never will. And that's okay. That's completely okay too. So I always give people what I promise to, you know, so I don't keep people I don't ask 100 questions. I just you ask for this, here it is, and then I ask the question, right? Because we want to give people what they ask for, and we always lead with service and connection, and that really doesn't go unnoticed. I've always booked sales calls, that's the truth. I've always booked sales conversations and sold on sales conversations, but now I give everything. I share everything. I share my pricing. I tell people how they can work with me, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend this. I'm not recommending this because sales conversations will convert at a much higher level, especially if you know what you're doing. But I'm now more or less selling entirely through Messenger. So are you doing this? So I do this every single week. Every single week you will see me. Every single week I show up and I do a really valuable training, and every single week I'm doing kind of lead generation towards this training. This is my lead magnet for the week. Yeah. And then that leads to a whole lot of Messenger conversations. And it can be used for any lead magnets, right? It can be used for any lead magnets, but I kind of like to keep things fresh and new, and, you know, because I'm not working with a massive audience, right? So, and people are going to resonate with different things that I share. So that's my vibe. That's what I do. Leading on to Facebook Lives like this, right? During the Facebook Lives like this, like I did at the beginning, some of you may not have been here at the beginning, but I kind of said, you know, if you'd like to learn more, if you want to hear more about how I can support you, send me a DM. I'm saying it now. This is all incredible information that I'm always sharing in these trainings. This is exactly the information that I share with my clients too, but my clients get that next level of support, right? My clients get me in their messenger, checking their messages. We're tweaking their conversations. We're looking at how to increase their open rates, you know, and that's just focusing on Messenger alone, let alone the offer and the sales conversations and, you know, all the other marketing aspects, right? So I will say in my trainings, in my Facebook Live, like I'm doing right now, if you want to learn more, if you'd like more support, reach out, send me a DM or comment #support or something like that below. Again, every single week I will get people who will reach out and who will want to find out more. Yeah. So all these little things, and I'm doing these little things all the time, add up to a whole lot of Messenger conversations, right? Without the need for any cold outreach. So are you doing that? Are you putting out call to actions within your content as well, right? Within your Facebook Lives and so on, as you're sharing really good, valuable content. All right, moving on. Number 5. This is a type of post, but again, this works really well, is the transformational posts, right? These are like more the story-based posts where you share about where you used to be and where you are now and the transformation that happened. And, you know, and I'm talking to coaches here, right? So this is relevant for the coaching industry, obviously. And I share details on what I did, you know, so it's kind of a written version, if you like, of a Facebook Live. Yeah. Obviously, my Facebook Lives, because I rabbit on so much, goes for a lot longer. I don't write War and Peace and write a huge long post, but it's a longer post, and I genuinely share like the 3 big breakthroughs or tips that, you know, the things that I did to achieve my breakthrough, that kind of thing. And with a call to action or you know, comment a particular word below, or a call to action to say, send me a direct message and if you'd like to achieve the same outcome. And these are really effective, like hugely effective, right? Because if you can clearly demonstrate the transformation that you've been able to achieve and how you did it, at a very sort of high level, then people are going to be interested, right? It's really, really relevant. And people then often send messages or they comment a particular word below, and then that gives us the permission to reach out to them and say, hey, check your DMs, I've got something in there for you, or happy to have the conversation in there so you can find out more, that kind of thing. So are you doing this? Are you kind of thinking of every single piece of content? Not every single piece of content, right? But a good chunk of your content, a good 60 to 75% of your content needs to be really intentional and purposeful content that is going to lead people towards the work that you do and lead people to reach out to you, to comment below, to send you a message, that kind of thing. Moving on. Number 6 is client testimonials, case studies, social proof. Huge, right? There's no better marketing for your business or for my business than to share client results, right? And case studies. So previously in number 5, I was talking about our transformation, our results, what we've been able to achieve. This time I'm talking about our clients, yeah? We only send messages to people who want them, right? And so we're not sort of sending random messages to anyone. We always send a welcome message to people who come into this group too, by the way, and that can lead to a conversation as well, but that's not even in my top 10. But that's there. That's another thing. Okay, let's call that number 11, even though I'm on number 6, talking about client testimonials, right? And with a call to action, again, if you want results like this, comment below, reach out, right? And this can be shared as often as you want, and everything that I'm sharing can be shared in lots of different places, right? You've got your stories, you've got your personal profile, you've got your Facebook group. You can share it as much as possible because all of these things work. I personally don't go into other people's Facebook groups. I'm in one paid Facebook group where I used to be more consistent in, and now I'm less so, but I'm still a paid member in that Facebook group. But other than that, I just kind of stick to my own little area, right? Because I know I don't need a huge audience. I just need to grab their attention in different ways. And so that's essentially what I'm doing here, right? So last week I shared about my amazing client, Shannon, and the beautiful Terry, who's on this call today, has made an incredibly good decision in going to work with her because they're both fabulous women, and Shannon hit 22,500 in 4 days last week. And subsequently, I haven't actually spoken to her, but I know she's gone on to make close to $30,000, possibly even more than that. I need to have a conversation with her one of these days because she's obviously now really, really busy kind of onboarding and selling her new clients in, which is absolutely awesome. And I couldn't be more thrilled for her because she is amazing. She's truly, truly amazing. And the thing is, every time I share client results or testimonials, I get reach outs. Every time, without fail. Every time. There's a reason, gorgeous ladies, why I have them pinned in the announcements. I want people to see that as soon as they come into my world, right? That I'm not just a pretty face, that I get incredible results for my clients. And so that is number 6, yeah? A way of getting messenger conversations, and those lead to sales conversations, right? Those sorts of conversations are more likely to lead to sales conversations too, rather than are faster to leading to sales conversations from testimonials, from direct call to action posts that I shared earlier, where you're specifically saying, I want to help 3 women to achieve XYZ result by a particular date. Those sorts of posts get you from messenger to the sales conversation much faster, because it's a lot more direct. The indirect ones where we kind of say, hey, come to this amazing training that I'm sharing, that is more kind of relationship building and connection, and it might be a little bit of a longer time frame before they get to the sales conversation, but they all get there. They all get there eventually. All right, number 7. This is again another really good one, is if you're doing promotions, right? I am not a fan. This is me. I don't judge anybody for what they do. You do what you do, I do me. I never go on sale, right? Never, ever do I go on sale. But I run promotions, right? And sometimes I'm adding some bonuses. Sometimes it's my price is going to increase. And I will be doing a price increase very soon, so that will be coming up too, right? But I'm not doing it today, so it's all good. Yeah, and so I'll run promotions around it, and they have been some of my biggest launches in inverted comma without launching. Yeah, literally sharing posts saying, this is happening, I've got this thing, do you want this thing, the price is going up, whatever it might be. And all the people who are on the fence, because ladies, we have got many people who are on the fence, who are quietly watching us, right? Who you have no idea about. They're not showing their face, they don't show their hand until they're ready, right? And so they come out of the woodwork. That's when they tend to kind of show themselves and go, oh, okay, I'm really curious, I've been following you for a while. And I'm like, really? I had no idea. So promotions, price increases, bonuses, other businesses do sales, discounts, Black Fridays, all those kinds of things. They all work, right? I just don't do that, but you can do that. It's your business. You do it your way, right? And if my clients choose to do it, I will 1000% still support them, even though I don't do that, right? So that is another way of getting people into your messengers. Email is another way, and what I do with my emails is I actually give them my, so everything that I've shared before, whether it is client testimonials, whether it is a promotion that I'm running, whether it is a transformational story, whether it is I've got this training happening, whether it is I've got a very direct call to action. I want to work with 3 people to get this result by this time frame, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is, I might send that also in my email. And if I want them to come into my messenger, I will share my messenger link. Do you know your messenger link? Tell me. If you don't know, I will give you the answer. And you will love me forever, even more than you already love me now, right? Because it's a really good link. So also when you're responding to people's comments, and especially, for whatever reason, if it happens that, you're not friends with them and your messages are going into a different folder, giving them your messenger link is hugely helpful. The lurkers. We have lurkers everywhere, right? The lurkers, that's the thing. That's why we need to kind of keep showing up, because there are people lurking, they're thinking, they're watching, they're observing, they're waiting to jump when the time feels right. Yeah. But in the meantime, they're lurking. And so I send out emails with my m.me messenger link, and then people come straight from the email into my messenger, because I don't really want to have email conversations. So that's the thing that I do. All right, number 9, and this is a bit of a cheeky one that I do, is I try and convert people who send me cold messages. I shower them with kindness. Truly, for those of you who missed the start, and I know not everybody sees cold messaging the same way, but this is how I see it. I admire people who are willing to do it. It is not easy. they get abused, they get ignored, and they get attacked, right? I know it's not our thing. It's okay. It doesn't have to be, right? But I admire people who are willing to do absolutely anything to help their clients, right? Because at the end of the day, as coaches, we want to help our clients, right? I may not choose to do it. I don't want to do it, but I admire that. And who knows, maybe I'll do it one day in the future, maybe I'll pay someone else to do it for me. So what I do is I shower these people who reach out to me with kindness, and I open up opportunities to have conversations with them and plant the seed about different ways that they could be doing business, and invite them into my Facebook group, and continue those conversations from there. Every now and then I'm genuinely interested in something that they're offering, right? But more often than not, I kind of turn it around and talk to them about what I do. So that's a bit cheeky, that's a bit sneaky, but I do it. All right, so number 9 was turning those incoming cold messages into potential client conversations, right? And number 10 is Facebook stories. Facebook stories and polls are my favorite on Facebook stories because they're so easy peasy, easy to do, right? So again, it doesn't matter what it is that you're sharing in your stories. It can be all of the things that I've shared before, but when you put a poll, add a poll to it, it's super easy for people to answer, right? I usually give them an answer of yes and yes, but even if you give an answer of yes or no, you get all the yeses, right? And quite honestly, people don't really say no. They just kind of bypass that story if they're not interested. And then their answer comes straight into Messenger as well. No, they don't. But you can collect those answers from the stories, right? And then you can have Messenger conversations with them. So whether they've said yes to a direct call to action, an indirect call to action, or all the things, right? Similar to email, except we're leveraging Facebook stories. And number 11, because I'm so mindful of time, is whatever I said before, which isn't on my list, and that is welcome messages to everybody that joined the Facebook group, right? And there are so many more. I could keep going on and on and on and on about this. There are so many more that we do. Yeah, we send a welcome message to absolutely everyone. We offer a free gift to everyone who joins this Facebook group. If you haven't received your free gift, let us know. We can send you a message. Yeah, and so there are so many ways that we have Messenger conversations with people that then lead to sales conversations.